There's been talk about reassessing the relationship with Saudi Arabia. What is the administration prepared to do at this point as far as reassessing it? It would involve weapons sales, diplomatic relations. Can you talk about some of the options here?
So from the beginning of the administration, since taking office, the president has been very clear that the United States needs a different sort of relationship with Saudi Arabia. He has said that from very early on. And I have said this last week when OPEC made the decision to align their energy policy with Russia's war aims and against the American people, further underscores that reasoning to realign that relationship, to reevaluate that relationship with Saudi Arabia. We are reviewing where we are currently right now, and we'll be watching closely over the coming weeks and months as well, consulting with our allies and also with with members of Congress, and decisions will be made once that policy review is underway. And but to be clear, I'm not going to get ahead of that, but that's the process that we're going to take next.
For the review?
Don't have a timeline, but clearly this is something that we're going to closely monitor. And we have said from the beginning we need to kind of reassess and have a different relationship with Saudi Arabia, and especially after the decision that was made by OPEC+. And we were very clear about that last week. Go ahead.
Thanks, Karine. Does President Biden believe that Saudi Arabia sides with Russia in this war?
Well, we believe by the decision that OPEC Plus made last week, there certainly are aligning themselves with Russia. And right now, this is not a time to be aligning with Russia, especially with this brutal, unprecedented war that they have started in Ukraine. And we have been very clear about that. The president has been very clear about that since the beginning of this war. And so this action that they took, this decision that OPEC Plus made last week, proves that that's where they are aligning their energy policy is with Russia.
So given that, Senator Bob Menendez, the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee, has proposed that the U.S. basically stop selling arms to Saudi Arabia. Is that something the president would consider?
Again, the president has been very clear that we need to find a different sort of relationship with Saudi Arabia. We are going to look at, assess our policies, get a sense of how we're going to, actions that we're going to take. And so we're reviewing this. I don't want to get ahead of the president's decision, but again, I don't have anything specific to that particular question, but we are going to have a review of where we are and take a really, really deliberate, close look.